If the transfer window closed today, would the Orlando Pirates squad be ready to compete for every trophy? I'm Fumane, and this channel is all about making sense of football. Just honest conversations about the game we all love. If that's your sort of thing, consider clicking the subscribe button and joining along the journey. In this video, I'm going to play sporting director. I'm going to audit Orlando Pirates squad and ask one simple question. Where is this team already complete, and where could it still be strengthened before mounting another title challenge or title defense? So let's get into it. Now, I'm looking at the squad through the lens of head coach Abdeslam Ouaddou's preferred 4-2-3-1 formation, because ultimately that's the system that the players are going to have to fit in. So I'm not just looking at individuals, who's better than who. I'm looking at how the squad fits together. That's what makes sense for me to look at it in that way. Let's start in goal. So I actually think goalkeeper is one of those easiest positions to assess because I wouldn't touch it at Orlando Pirates. Sipho Shane has established himself as Orlando Pirates #1. He's Bafana international, and over the last couple of seasons, he's shown that he's got the temperament to play for one of the biggest clubs in the country, even though he came with much doubt before he joined Orlando Pirates from Chippa United. He's a PSL level shot stopper, but more importantly, for the way that Pirates want to play, he's become increasingly comfortable with the ball at his feet. And then behind him, you've got Relebohile Mofokeng. He's still relatively young for a goalkeeper at just 25 years old. But whenever we've seen him, particularly during this preseason that's happening now at Spain, he's looked composed. He looks confident receiving the ball under pressure. He's calm in possession. He looks like he's someone who suits Pirates' style of building from the back. So for me, when I think of goalkeeper, I think it's one of the positions at Pirates that's settled. Just don't touch it. Moving on to central defense, I think this is another position where Pirates have got a really healthy balance. You've got Nkosinathi Sibisi, the captain of the football club, who's become one of the leaders at Bafana as well. He's experienced, he's vocal, he's dependable. And alongside him, though, I actually think Relebohile has developed into the best centre-back at the club. At just 23 years old, he's composed and incredibly mature for his age. He looks comfortable defending high up the pitch, but he's equally comfortable stepping into midfield with the ball. I thought the partnership between Sibisi and Siema after Mbogazi left was particularly good during the second half of last season. I thought it was outstanding. Behind them, you've got Thapelo Qoki, and I'm more than comfortable having someone of his experience as a fourth choice centre-back at Pirates. He's a leader, he understands the magnitude and culture of Pirates, and every successful squad needs players like Thapelo Qoki. Then there's Mpho Tshabatsane, a naturally left-footed centre-back who's comfortable in possession, and then Sibangani Zulu providing further depth as centre-back. So when I look at this department, I see balance, experience mixed with youth, left-footedness alongside right-footedness, leadership mixed with potential. So centre-back is another position where I wouldn't look at strengthening. I think centre-back at Orlando Pirates is completely fine. Left-back might actually be one of the strongest positions in the entire squad. Dion Hotto somehow just refuses to slow down. At 35 years old, you know exactly what you're going to get from him every single week. Energy, consistency, and unbelievable commitment. But what really makes this position of left back strong is what sits behind Hotto. Nkosinathi Ndaba has shown that he's much more than just a backup. There have been genuinely games where I've thought, you could make an argument that he deserves to start ahead of Hotto. He's technically good, disciplined defensively, and contributes enough going forward without neglecting his defensive responsibilities. Then Pirates have added Neo Rapo. I really like this signing because he doesn't just add another body to the squad. He raises the long-term ceiling of the left-back position. At just 20 years old, he's got great potential, and I genuinely believe he could become Pirates' first choice left-back in the few years to come. For me, that's what succession planning should look like. You've got your present, Hoto, your immediate backup, Ndaba, and your future, Rapo, all in one department. I think that Pirates have done an incredible job at left back. Right back is where I have my first maybe question mark. Not because I doubt the quality. I actually like both profiles. Dino van Rooyen gives you defensive stability, fight, and a quality delivery. Kamohelo Sibilibili, on the other hand, gives you something completely different. Originally, he's a winger. He's direct, explosive, and loves taking defenders on. In possession, he almost becomes another winger, stretching the pitch and creating overloads. My concern is depth and physicality. Van Rooyen has unfortunately struggled with injuries during his Pirates career. If he misses an extended period, suddenly Sibilibili becomes your only recognized senior right back. Pirates generally like having 3 players for every position. We all know that. And I'm not convinced that they quite have that here, having released Shandu and Libito at the end of last season. And then there's the Champions League factor. Neither Van Rooyen nor Sibilibili is particularly dominant in the air. In the Betway Premiership, that might not hurt you too often. But in CAF Champions League football, where teams are more physical and regularly attack the back post, that's something I'd definitely keep an eye on. I wouldn't necessarily sign a marquee player here, but another capable young, tall right back / centre back certainly wouldn't hurt. Unless if there's any truth that Pirates are out to get Matuludi. That would make Pirates seriously stocked at right back. I think it would be a position that's almost complete. Moving into central midfield, this is where I think Orlando Pirates are at their strongest. I don't necessarily think that they have all the best midfielders in South African football. What I think is they have every type of midfielder. Balance. You've got experienced, level-headed players like Makehleni Makaula and Sihlen who are responsible and bring leadership. You've got technically gifted midfielders like Masindi Nemtajela and Mteteleli Mtiani, who are comfortable receiving under pressure and progressing play for us. Then you've got Madume Molai, and he's someone I'm particularly intrigued about. I'm really interested in him. Every time I watch him, I see how technically clean he is. He looks comfortable in tight spaces, and he plays with confidence and composure. Should he turn out to be someone who always makes the right decisions on the ball, something like Sipho, I think he's got a high ceiling. And then Simpiwe Slepe is another one with huge potential. A modern, deep-lying midfielder who can protect the defense while also dictating the tempo of the game. Another one who comes from that Pirates development. Abdullah Mariko gives you another option. Physical yet good on the ball, while Talent Mbata for me is the heartbeat of this team. He's the reference point in midfield. He combines quality, energy, and experience, and I genuinely think he's one of the best midfielders in the country. If Pirates are going to dominate this season, if they really are going to dominate, Mbata will almost certainly be central to that. I think he's going to be the center of what Pirates do. Now we get to the biggest talking point, which is attacking midfield. Relebohile Mofokeng has left for Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, and before anything else, I just want to say congratulations to him. This is exactly the pathway you want young South African footballers to see. If you perform at Orlando Pirates, Europe is a realistic destination. That doesn't just benefit Mofokeng, it benefits every youngster coming through the development because it gives them belief that there's a pathway. It also exposes Orlando Pirates and South African football more broadly to the international market. So when one player earns a move abroad, scouts start watching the club. They start watching the development. They start asking, who is the next player? That's how South African football continues to grow. And I love it for Mofokeng. And I love it for the country at large more. Now, the question everyone asks is, who replaces Relebohile Mofokeng? I think that's the wrong question to ask. I don't think you replace Mofokeng with another Mofokeng. I think that's almost impossible. Last season, he scored goals, he created chances, he played across multiple possessions, and above all, he was the ball magnet. His teammates constantly looked for him because they trusted him to make something happen. I beg your pardon. That's too much responsibility to ask one player to take on. That's what you only ask of Dikomdise, Teminkosi Lodge, and Relebohile Mofokeng. Instead, I think Pirates need to replace his output collectively. Patrick Maswanganyi needs to rediscover his best football. He is a natural ball magnet. Kabelo Dlamini needs to convince Ouaddou that he's the best at creating chances with his vision and passing. Andre de Jong needs to contribute in attacking moments with an eye for goal. And then the white players need to increase their output. Certainly, someone needs to help Ozwen Apollos in scoring goals. That's how you replace Relebohile Mofokeng at Orlando Pirates. I've also seen a lot of people saying that Pirates should sign Emile Witbooi. Now, I certainly understand the comparison. He's a brilliant young attacking midfielder and the brightest prospect in the country at the moment. But I actually think people are trying to force a replacement. Firstly, Witbooi is still much more earlier in his development than Mofokeng was. Secondly, if the reported fee is around 20 million to get him, then you have to ask yourself, what problem am I solving? Do Pirates really need another attacking midfielder with potential for 20 million? I think it's a question we need to answer. Moving on into the wide areas, I actually think Pirates are very well stocked in this position. Obviously, Ozwen Apollos and Tshepang Moremi should be the guaranteed starters. Apollos brings goals, assists, creativity. Moremi brings pace, goal threat, width, and direct running. Together, they complement each other really well, and they've played together already. Behind them, you've got more PSL established Daniel Msendami and Kampani Lungu. For me, this season is about whether they can genuinely compete for starting places because depth only matters if it pushes the starters. So Msendami and Lungu are going to be very important. Then you've got exciting young stars like Mpho Phadime Popo, Relebohile Mofokeng, and Kabelo Khositsile. I'm particularly excited about Phadime because he reminds me of the type of winger who constantly demands the ball. He's fearless, he wants to take players on and isn't afraid to make things happen. And he might be the reason Pirates actually turn away from Witbooi. I think that's what I think. I think Pirates are looking at Phadime and thinking, do we need Witbooi? And then finally, the strikers. This is the one department where I still have genuine questions. Evidence Makgopa gives you relentless pressing, incredible work rate, running channels, aerial presence, and valuable international experience. Coaches love players like him because of everything they do for the team. And then Butuma has similar qualities. He's hardworking, determined, and constantly looking to improve. He finds himself one split second from being in a good position, and I still think he's learning the finer details that turn a good striker into a prolific one. Then there's Boitumelo Radiopane. The potential to score a lot of goals has always been there with him. We've seen him combine blistering pace, scoring ability, and good hold-up play at development level. The stage has always been set for him, but all the more now with Tshegofatso Mabasa gone. This could be the opportunity for Radiopane to establish himself as Pirates' main poacher, if you like. But he's not yet there, and that's also why I understand the Peter Shalulile conversation amongst the fans. Not because I think he should be the Orlando Pirates' future, but because proven goals are valuable and needed at the moment at Orlando Pirates. If there's any doubt in Makgopa, Butuma, and Radiopane, then bringing in someone like Shalulile as a fourth striker isn't about necessarily blocking opportunities for the rest. It's about giving this squad something it currently doesn't have with certainty, and that's goals. We need someone to score goals. Overall, when I step back and look at Orlando Pirates squad, I actually think it's in a very healthy place. Goalkeeper is settled, centre back is balanced, left back is excellent. Central midfield is complete. The wide areas have quality and depth. Attacking midfield has enough solutions despite losing Relebohile Mofokeng. The only question I still can't answer with complete confidence is, where are the goals going to come from? I think that's the question for me. If Pirates answers that question, then I genuinely believe that this squad has everything it needs to compete for every trophy available this season. Let me leave it there. Goodbye.